How are you guys? Welcome to HD Coins World, the ultimate destination for rare coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. I'm your host Noah, and I'm excited to share with you the fascinating world of old and rare coins worth millions. Let's start. 1957 5-cent coin. Welcome, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into a piece of American history that could be hiding right in your pocket, your very own 5-cent coin from 1957. A seemingly simple nickel, but one with a fascinating story and potentially a very valuable price tag attached to it. When we think of American currency, we often picture the more well-known bills and coins, the dollar bills, the quarters, the pennies. But sometimes, it's those underappreciated coins, like the 1957 5-cent piece, that pack a real punch when it comes to value. Now, you may be wondering, what makes a 5-cent coin from 1957 worth anything special? After all, it's just a nickel, right? Well, it's all about the condition, the rarity, and a few historical twists that make this particular coin one for the ages. First, let's take a quick look at the design. The 1957 5-cent coin features the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse side. This design was created by renowned artist Felix Schlag and has been a symbol of American currency for decades. On the reverse, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, an emblem of the founding ideals of the nation. But what truly adds value to these nickels is their rarity and excellent condition. Like most coins, the wear and tear over the years can drastically affect its value. A regular, well-worn nickel from 1957 might only fetch a few cents, but if you happen to have one in mint condition, or even better, one that has been graded by a professional, then you could be holding a treasure. And now, here's where it gets exciting. While a 1957 nickel might not seem like much at first glance, certain variations can make all the difference. For instance, there are a few rare 1957 nickels that were produced with a special D mint mark, indicating they were struck at the Denver Mint. Coins from certain years, like 1957, with this mint mark can carry a significantly higher value. If your coin is free from scratches, dents, or discoloration and has that mint finish, you're on the right track. But what about the most extreme case? Well, here's the exciting part. The most coveted 1957 nickels are those in pristine or near mint condition. Coins like these, especially those graded as MS-65 or better, are worth a pretty penny. In fact, some collectors have paid thousands of dollars for them, but we're not done yet. There's an even rarer and more valuable variant of the 1957 nickel, the proof coin. These were specially minted for collectors, using a different process that gives them a shiny, mirror-like surface. If you have a 1957 proof nickel in your collection, hold on tight because it could be worth significantly more than a standard circulation coin. And now, let's get to the big reveal, the most mind-blowing value that a rare, well-preserved 1957 5-cent coin can reach. A coin in perfect condition, a mint-quality piece, can fetch an astonishing $48,000. That's right, $48,000. So, if you've got a 1957 nickel tucked away in your collection, it might just be time to take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding onto a small piece of history that's worth a small fortune. 1974 5-cent USA, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Today, we have something truly fascinating for you, a piece of American history that is not just rare, but also incredibly valuable. You might think that 5 cents doesn't carry much weight in today's economy, but what if I told you that a 1974 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? It's hard to believe, right? A humble coin that's seen billions of spins through cash registers, piggy banks, and pocket change. But some of these coins are far from ordinary. Let's dive into why this specific 1974 nickel could be worth more than you ever imagined. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about the 1974 nickel? Well, like any collectible, rarity is key. While most 1974 nickels are like the ones you might have in your pocket right now, there are a few that stand out due to minting errors. These errors aren't just small mistakes, they're rare anomalies that make these coins incredibly valuable to collectors. One such error involves what's known as the DDO, or double die obverse. This is where the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, creating a visible doubling effect on the lettering and numbers. Imagine holding a coin in your hand and seeing the word Liberty or In God We Trust looking almost blurry, as if stamped twice over. This striking flaw can make the coin extraordinarily rare and, as a result, valuable. And if that wasn't enough, there's also a specific error with the 1974 nickel where the coin was struck on a wrong planchet, essentially, a metal blank intended for a different coin. This can result in a nickel that's lighter or thinner than usual. These errors aren't something you'll come across every day, and when they do appear on the market, collectors go wild. But even if you don't find one of these rare misprints, you could still stumble upon a 1974 nickel that's in exceptional condition. Coins that have been well preserved, free of scratches, dents, or discoloration, often fetch impressive sums at auctions. If you've got a pristine example of this coin with sharp, clear details and no signs of wear, then congratulations. You're holding onto a potentially very valuable piece of US currency. Now, let's talk numbers. When these rare 1974 nickels make it to auction or are evaluated by professional coin graders, their value can skyrocket far beyond the mere 5 cents they were originally worth. But here's the kicker, folks, some of these coins have sold for as much as $45,000, yes, you heard that right. $45,000. That's the kind of value a single, well-preserved, or error-filled 1974 nickel can fetch in the right circumstances. For those of you who enjoy collecting or even just flipping through your change jar, you might just have a hidden treasure in your possession. So, the next time you see a 1974 nickel, remember it might not just be a small piece of change. It could very well be a rare, collectible coin worth thousands. The key is to know what to look for and how to spot those little details that make all the difference. 1973 5 cent. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American currency, the United States 5-cent coin from 1973, better known as the nickel. Now, most of us think of nickels as just everyday change, a small coin that doesn't make much of an impression. But what if I told you that some of these coins, specifically the 1973 nickel, could be worth more than you might ever expect? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much some of these seemingly ordinary coins can fetch on the market. Let's start by setting the scene. The 1973 nickel might seem like just another year in the world of US coinage. After all, it was just part of the standard minting process. But as with many coins, there are rare exceptions. It's not every day that a regular, run-of-the-mill coin turns out to be worth a small fortune, and that's where things get interesting with the 1973 nickel. One of the key factors in determining the value of a coin is rarity. Now, most 1973 nickels are relatively common. They're made of a copper-nickel composition, and millions were struck at the US Mint that year. But some of these nickels have something special, an error or a unique feature that sets them apart from the typical batch. The most notable of these errors in the 1973 nickel involves what collectors call the double die variety. This is a rare minting flaw where the die used to strike the coin was misaligned during production, leading to a doubling effect on the letters or numbers on the coin. On the 1973 nickel, this typically happens with the Liberty inscription, where the word appears twice, stacked on top of each other. This kind of error makes the coin significantly rarer and much more valuable. But that's not all. The 1973 nickel is also known to sometimes exhibit doubled or misaligned designs on the reverse side, including the iconic Monticello building. These subtle but noticeable flaws make the coin incredibly sought after by collectors. Now, beyond these minting errors, another factor that contributes to the value of any coin is its condition. The 1973 nickel, like any collectible coin, is more valuable if it's in pristine condition. A coin with sharp, clear details, no scratches or tarnishing, and minimal wear could be worth a lot more than its face value. And you'll find that well-preserved 1973 nickels, especially those with rare errors, fetch impressive sums in auctions. So, how much are these rare 1973 nickels actually worth? If you're lucky enough to find a pristine, error-filled specimen, you might be sitting on more than just a nickel. Some of these 1973 nickels, particularly the ones with the double die error or those in perfect condition, have sold for staggering amounts. And while the exact price can vary based on the severity of the error and the quality of the coin, we're talking about a potential value that could reach up to $42,500. Yes, you heard that right, $42,500. That's the kind of money some collectors are willing to pay for a 1973 nickel with the right features, errors, and impeccable condition. So, the next time you're going through your change jar or checking out your coin collection, take a closer look at your 1973 nickels. You just might have a rare gem on your hands that could be worth far more than its face value. 1981 5 cent. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a coin that may have passed through your hands without a second thought, the 1981 United States 5-cent piece, or nickel. Now, at first glance, you might think it's just another nickel from the early 80s, but stick with me, because this coin might just have a surprising value that'll leave you rethinking your pocket change. Now, when it comes to coins, one thing that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary is rarity. And while millions of 1,981 nickels were minted, there's something about this particular year that makes some of them exceptionally valuable. The key here is understanding the potential for minting errors, which turn what would otherwise be a regular coin into something highly coveted by collectors. You see, most coins are struck and released into circulation without a hitch, but every once in a while, an error occurs during the minting process. These errors can vary widely, from slight misalignments to double strikes or even issues with the metal used. With the 1981 nickel, there are a few rare anomalies that can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream point. One of the most notable errors found in the 1981 nickel is the doubled die variety. This occurs when the coin's die, which is used to stamp the design onto the coin, is struck multiple times, resulting in a doubled image. On the 1981 nickel, this could appear as a noticeable doubling effect on the word Liberty or In God We Trust, where the lettering looks almost like it's been stamped twice, creating a blurry or shadowed effect. These types of errors are incredibly rare, and collectors who are lucky enough to find them are often willing to pay top dollar. In addition to doubled dies, another potential anomaly involves the off-center strike, a minting error where the coin is struck at the wrong angle or position, leaving part of the design missing or off-center. These coins are particularly desirable because they're so unique. No two off-center coins are alike, which makes them a true collector's treasure, and it's not just the errors that make these coins valuable. The condition of the coin also plays a significant role in determining its worth. As with any collectible item, the better the condition, the higher the price. If you happen to have a 1981 nickel that's well preserved, with sharp details and minimal wear, that's already a big plus. Now, let's get to the good part. How much are these rare 1981 nickels worth? If you happen to have one of these error-filled coins in excellent condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. While most 1981 nickels are worth just 5 cents, those with significant minting errors have been known to fetch incredible prices at auctions and from serious collectors. Depending on the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin, some of these nickels have been sold for as much as $28,000. Yes, you heard me right, $28,000. That's the kind of money some lucky collectors have paid for a single 1981 nickel. Imagine finding one of these rare gems in your own collection or stumbling upon it in your change jar. It's enough to make any coin enthusiast's heart race. So, the next time you're going through your coins, take a closer look at those 1981 nickels. Could you be holding onto something much more valuable than you think? It just takes a little knowledge, a sharp eye, and maybe a bit of luck to spot that hidden treasure. 1995 cent today, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that you probably have in your collection, or even sitting in your spare change jar, the 1990 United States 5-cent piece, or the nickel. Now, at first glance, a 1990 nickel might not seem like anything extraordinary. It's a coin that's seen plenty of use, circulated through wallets and registers, and probably even passed through your hands countless times. But what if I told you that some 1990 nickels could be worth thousands of dollars? Stick around to find out just how valuable this humble coin can become. Let's start by breaking down what makes the 1990 nickel interesting in the world of coin collecting. Most of us are familiar with the standard 5-cent piece. It's part of the familiar Jefferson nickel series, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and Monticello, Jefferson's iconic home, on the reverse. These coins were minted by the billions over the years, and most of them are worth exactly 5 cents. So, what's so special about a 1990 version? Well, like all collectibles, the key factor in determining a coin's value is rarity, and more importantly, errors. Yes, that's right. Minting errors are what really get collectors excited. When the US Mint strikes a coin with an issue, whether it's a misalignment, double strike, or anything else out of the ordinary, the value of that coin can skyrocket. The 1990 nickel is no exception. One of the most exciting things that can happen to a 1990 nickel is the appearance of a double die error. This is when the coin's die, the metal stamp used to imprint the design onto the coin, is struck more than once, resulting in a doubling effect. You can see this doubling on the inscriptions, like the word Liberty or In God We Trust. The doubling can be subtle, but when you catch it, it's clear as day. This minting error is highly sought after, as it's not something you find every day. And let's face it, finding a coin with a rare error like this is like discovering a hidden treasure in your pocket change, but that's not all. There are also off-center strikes that occasionally occur with 1990 nickels. This happens when the blank coin planchet isn't properly aligned when the die strikes it. The result? Part of the coin's design can be missing, or the design can be shifted to one side. These off-center nickels are incredibly unique, and collectors love the unusual, one-of-a-kind nature of them. Of course, in addition to the minting errors, another crucial factor that affects the value of any coin is its condition. The better the coin's condition, the higher the price it can command. A 1990 nickel in mint state, meaning it has virtually no wear, no scratches, and no discoloration, can fetch a lot more than a coin that's been through years of circulation. Now, let's talk numbers. How much could a rare 1990 nickel really be worth? You might be surprised to learn that, depending on the era and the condition of the coin, some of these nickels have sold for astounding prices. We're talking about coins that could be worth as much as $10,000, yes, that's right, $10,000. That's the kind of money a rare 1990 nickel with the right error can bring in the right market. Whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, or just a pristine, well-preserved example, these coins can have a value far beyond their face value. It's amazing to think that a coin you might dismiss as just another nickel could hold so much potential. So, next time you go through your coin collection or check out your spare change, take a second look at those 1990 nickels. With a keen eye and a little knowledge, you could be holding onto a rare gem that could be worth far more than just 5 cents. 1998 5 cent, coin enthusiasts and curious collectors. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures that could be hiding in your pockets, drawers, or collections. Today, we're diving into a coin that may seem like just another nickel, but when you dig a little deeper, you'll find that the 1998 United States 5-cent piece, also known as the Jefferson nickel, could be far more valuable than you might think. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how a simple 1998 nickel could be worth thousands of dollars. So, let's start with the basics. The 1998 nickel was minted as part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, which has been circulating since 1938. On the obverse, you have the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson, and on the reverse, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's iconic home. On the surface, this coin seems like just another piece of regular currency, right? Well, not so fast. Like all coins, the value of the 1998 nickel can vary based on rarity, condition, and the presence of minting errors. And that's where things get interesting. While most of these 1998 nickels are worth their face value of 5 cents, a few special coins from this year were struck with rare errors that have made them extremely valuable to collectors. So, let's explore some of these errors and what makes them so sought after. First up, let's talk about double die errors. A double die occurs when the coin's die, the metal stamp that strikes the design onto the coin, is misaligned or strikes the planchet, the blank metal disc, more than once. This results in a doubling effect on the design. On a 1998 nickel, you might see this error on the lettering, such as the word Liberty or In God We Trust, where the letters appear as if they've been struck twice. This doubling effect is usually subtle, but when you catch it, it's a clear sign that you found a rare and valuable coin. But the errors don't stop there. Another significant error that can occur with 1998 nickels is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet isn't properly aligned with the die during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted off-center. Off-center coins are highly collectible because they are unique. No two are exactly the same. A well-struck off-center 1998 nickel could be worth a small fortune, especially if the error is prominent and easily visible. And of course, like any collectible, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. A 1998 nickel in pristine condition, with sharp, clean details and no signs of wear, can be worth significantly more than a well-worn, circulated coin. The grading of a coin, from mint state, like new, to very fine, with some wear, can drastically affect its market price. So, you might be wondering, how much is a 1998 nickel actually worth? If you happen to come across one of these rare coins with a double die error or a prominent off-center strike, and it's in great condition, you could be holding a true collector's item. In fact, some of these error-filled 1998 nickels have been sold for as much as $10,000. Yes, you heard me correctly, $10,000. Imagine that. A simple 5-cent coin, worth just a few cents when it was first minted, could be worth thousands today because of a rare minting error. And it's not just any 1998 nickel, it's the ones with those unusual errors, the ones that were struck in a way that made them different from all the others. Those are the coins that collectors are eager to get their hands on, willing to pay top dollar for a piece of history that's as unique as it is valuable. So, next time you're going through your coin collection or checking your spare change, take a moment to look closely at your 1998 nickels. They could be worth far more than you expect. With a little bit of knowledge and a keen eye, you might just stumble upon a rare find. And who knows? You could be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars, waiting for the right collector to discover it. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this exploration of the 1998 nickel and want to learn more about other rare coins that could be hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more exciting coin discoveries. Until next time, keep on collecting, because you never know when the next treasure might be just a coin flip away.